From the studios of Foxboro Cable Access, located in the center of Foxborough, Massachusetts, you are watching Around Foxborough.
Hello and welcome to Around Foxborough, the show where we talk about the people, places, and things that make Foxborough the gem of Norfolk County. My name is Mark Rivard, and I am pleased to have as my guest today, Nancy Mager from Beyond the Bell. Welcome, Nancy.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being on the show. So tell us a little bit about yourself and Beyond the Bell, because a lot of people are wondering, what Beyond the Bell? What's that?
Sure. So Beyond the Bell, I like to think of it as a place where kids really can feel and be at home. It's an education center. We do enrichment activities, which means we provide both academic tutoring, but really our strongest focus is on social and emotional well-being and skills. So we run social skills groups, work on executive functioning for students, and then the kinds of things that used to take place in elementary schools back when I was a child that would have been called electives, we try and get in here as well. Hands-on, engaging, enriching activities, some unique shared experiences between kids, and run by professional educators and specifically special educators.
So it's mostly for the kids who are maybe having that difficulty, some sort of difficulty learning, whether it's speech, whether it's writing. It could be some sort of, like you said, special education. It could be an IEP or 504, something like that.
So we designed Beyond the Bell to be a place for all kids, really, not just those on IEPs. And the idea is that we are an inclusive space, we are an accepting space. Everyone is welcome. Everyone can succeed here. But we do get a lot of kids that are what we call neurodivergent, where they have some sort of special need.
So it's basically any student or child who's having difficulty, and it could be in a simple subject. It could be just getting along with other children, just something. It's a little extra.
It's a
Special attention.
a little extra. And I would say our specialty really is on the social skills. For those kids who struggle to make connections with peers or maintain relationships with peers, that's where we really specialize in getting kids to relate to one another, to connect with one another, to make those friendships, and to set personal goals, and then we help them achieve them.
And I'm sure that was very, very much in demand after the last couple of years, where a lot of kids couldn't even see other children. They were stuck in their homes, in their yards with their immediate family.
COVID was rough for kids. And we're still seeing that impact. Children that are in third and fourth grade did not have a normal start to their education, first grade being cut in half for a lot of kids, and obviously every grade was affected. During COVID, we provided remote school day support. So if kids were not in school, they could come to us and not only get support in hopping on their Zooms, but completing their work, and we provided other fun curriculum, things that were engaging. So lots of STEM activities, experiments, what we call process art. So not art to, make a picture of a snowman, but something to get kids to use, clay or paint or some other medium. To just sort of have fun and express themselves. And so that was a turn from what the Bell was intended for when I built it and designed it, but met a need for the year of COVID. And now we're back to our regular programming. So kids come here after school, come for an hour, a couple hours, for a class, and see their friends, hang out. During the summer, we've had some summer camps as well.
And even with COVID, I'm not going to say it's over, because it's not really over. It's waning. It's still in the background. But even with that, kids have a harder time today. There are a lot of social anxieties, especially when you take into account the speed of information, the internet, texting, TikTok, whatever you want to call it, Facebook. Well, not Facebook for kids. That's for us old people.
Yeah.
But
Snapchat.
yeah, Snapchat, even Instagram, some of them use that. But with all that information, it's hard for kids to get that. They do have social anxiety, even more so than when we were kids.
There's a lot to that. The as they get older, their lives are often being recorded, whether it's by themselves or by their peers, but there's always a camera available. And that certainly can contribute to anxiety and social anxiety. But we do see a lot of kids that come through here that deal with anxiety on a daily basis. And that it's hard to learn when you're anxious. It's hard to make friends when you're anxious or maintain friendships when you're anxious. It's hard to eat in the cafeteria at school when you're feeling overwhelmed. And so we want to give kids tools to deal with that in a safe space, a place where they are free to take risks, and have the right support to help them identify their feelings and then give them some tools so they know what to do about them.
And it's nice that there are actually other kids there that are going through the same thing. Because sometimes when children, like my son, when he had his anxiety issues, finding somebody else who's very similar to you gain friendship that way, and it helps you to keep going and make other friends once you've taken that first step.
Absolutely. We have a lot of kids that come here that have a hard time making friendships because their interests are pretty unique or specific. They are often kids that we call twice exceptional, meaning they may have some sort of disability, but they also have some exceptional abilities. Sometimes they're on the autism spectrum. And you're right, finding someone with a similar interest, and it may be very specific, is tough. And not knowing all the social norms and nuances, the things that are not spelled out for you, can be really challenging for kids to figure out. And so that's something that we can work on here. And we have sort of a unique approach to that in just throwing kids together in a room and say, go play, works for neurotypical kids and very young kids often. But as kids get older, especially those who are neurodivergent, they struggle to make those connections. And one thing that I found in my experience is giving them what I call unique shared experiences can really level the playing field. So something that they might not do every day and they're doing it together, suddenly they have something to talk about, and that, begins a conversation, begins a connection. And then we can, push beyond that to really help them connect with others. And that is right now, always, but right now, so important. Kids feel very isolated, even though we're back in school.
Yeah. And you also do, not only the fun stuff too, but you do the stuff to get them motivated, to get them energetic, the fun stuff. I always say the fun stuff because in school, the lessons and everything, yeah, you need help with that. But the fun stuff, that's the things that gets kids going and gets them more involved when they're doing something creative or something they can be with other kids and do together. So I do know that you do have a video that we want to see.
Oh, yes.
Because I think this will show exactly what happens at Beyond the Bell.
Yeah, there's all sorts of fun stuff. Let's watch.
All right, let's watch it.
Here.
I know how to ride a bike now.
Yeah, see what I mean?
Yeah,
that's you're seeing kids in their environment just having fun and being creative, and that breaks them out of their shell, I would imagine, right?
Oh, absolutely. Some of those videos and photos were during COVID. Obviously, you saw some kids in masks. We tried to keep that fun and let them forget about the fact that we're in the middle of this pandemic. And then other things, obviously, unmasked. Some video from camp this summer. And my favorite is the video of a young man learning to ride a bike.
That was my favorite too. When I first saw it, I said, "Wow!" I said, "He is so pumped."
He was pumped. He participated in a class called Intro to Adulting, and that is my middle school group. And we call it Intro to Adulting because the idea is they are between childhood and adulthood, and yet are expected to do all of these adult things. And in the education world, a lot of those things are called executive functioning skills. And some of those involve goal setting. And so in the beginning of Intro to Adulting, the kids set goals for themselves. They can be academic goals, social goals, physical goals. And he had been wanting to ride a bike forever, but was terrified and had never been on a bike until that day. And so we have, some methods that remove a lot of the fear and the intimidation for kids. And he was just all smiles. And that was amazing. We do love teaching bike riding. So that's sort of a unique class or opportunity that we offer kids, and kids that, are nervous to do it, or parents that are nervous to do it with their kids. That works really well. And it's life-changing for kids, that freedom, to get on a bike and go somewhere.
Yeah, and that's the first step too. Once they conquer something like that, then they're willing to try other things and conquer and get rid of some of their fears. Right?
Absolutely. This young man continued with our group, and over the year he would attend. We have something called Friday night hangouts, which is just a few hours on a Friday night. Drop your kids off, go do some shopping or out to dinner, and we will edutain them, so educational entertainment. And he started coming to those and was amongst the older kids. He was a teenager, and so throughout the spring kept saying, "Can I work here?" And so this summer we gave him an opportunity to be a CIT, and he had responsibilities and learned, what to do and how to do it. And so it's, the kind of place where we can really grow with kids.
Yeah, that is phenomenal. You learn to walk and then you start running, and that's just going to boost his confidence all the way up.
Yeah.
And that's incredible. So what ages? I mean, is there a maximum, minimum for the program?
Generally, we say we're K-8. The kindergarten can be a little young depending on what they're coming to us for. But generally, most of our students are elementary school age. Like 2nd through 5th grade is our sweet spot, I would say. But we do have a very active, as I said, Intro to Adulting group of middle schoolers. This year we'll extend one of the groups into 9th grade because the kids have aged up to that and they are a very connected group. But we'll add other groups, and generally, middle elementary school is a really great time to start at the bell.
Yeah, that's probably the best time to get any child in their educational process, because too early, they may not get everything. Too late, they're set in their ways. Right in the middle, that's when you get them and you show them the right way to do things and how to, improve themselves and get comfortable with all the things they're going to tackle in life.
Mm-hmm. The other things that I don't think you can see in the video are the supports we have for families and parents. Going through, if you have a child that has some special needs, or if you have concerns as a parent, you don't always know what to do. And the schools are great in trying to support and guide families. But sometimes it's really helpful just to have someone who's been through it, who knows what the laws are and what your rights as a family or a parent are. And so we do consulting and advocacy for families to help them through that process, to make sure that children's individual education plans are meeting their needs, or just parent coaching over, bedtime routines and behaviors and struggles that they may have, how to use some of the techniques that we use here to motivate kids at home.
That's an important service right there. Not many places can say they offer that. That is phenomenal. especially offering services to the parents and showing them what to do, et cetera. You're not just helping the children themselves, you're educating the parents too,
That's
which is
important.
very important.
I mean, we see kids for a couple hours at a time. They are with them, all day and night, and um, kids are like sponges. So we can teach them so much, but we just have to know how to reach them.
Yeah. That's a phenomenal program you have going on there. I didn't
Thank
know.
you.
And it's great that we can have you on the show so we can tell everybody about it. And now's the time where you can actually, do a little plug for Beyond the Bell. Tell us how people can find out more about it,
Sure.
website, phone number, etc.
So we're located in Plainville, not too far from Foxborough. We do get a lot of kids from Foxborough. We have a website. Unfortunately, it's not quite as updated right now as I would like. We will be fixing that, but our Facebook page is really active. That's where I end up finding a lot of clients. But we have a website, which is www.beyondthebelleducation.com. Our Facebook page is Beyond the Bell Plainville. And our phone number here is 508-316-4751. For this fall, we're enrolling right now, actually. So if you have kids that you're concerned about or you want to get a jump on things, we'll be running social skill groups during the week. They are multi-age groups. So it might be a third grader with a fourth grader. But it's a short spread, as I like to say, so only a couple of grades together. So we have two options for the fall for social skills. One is an hour-long weekly session, and that takes place in the evenings from 5:30 to 6:30 or 6:30 to 7:30, and day and time would depend on your child's age and skill levels and what their needs are. But then we also have a new program this year, which is called at the After School Academy at Beyond the Bell. And that is when kids can come here directly after school, whatever time their school gets out. And we will help them get their homework done with professional educators. We will work on executive functioning skills and social skills, all while, doing lots of fun activities. So experiments and art and games and personal, individual, and group challenges. We do a lot of community building. And so the idea behind this new program really is that gift of time, is an hour for a child who has difficulty getting along with people or making friends. Within that hour, there could be a disagreement and then the kids leave. And there isn't enough time to really process that and work through it and repair, so that kids learn to generalize these skills for the future. And so by having this additional time, the kids really can work together with our educators, sort of like a play date with a coach, and we'll get additional support. So that is new this year. And then, of course, one-on-one tutoring in all academic subjects. We have a Wilson reading specialist on staff. Wilson is a system for kids with dyslexia, or those who are really struggling to read. And that is by appointment, as well as the bike riding.
Wow. That is awesome. And when you said that, like, oh, we're starting rolling now, I'm thinking, wait a minute, what did? Oh, it's already mid-August. School is coming
so fast.
Oh,
so
wow.
Fast.
Where did the summer go? Well, the heat's still here, but
not hot enough. I just keep the heat coming.
I don't know. I liked it today. It was around 80 degrees. So that's perfect for me. 95, but that's great. So yeah, please, if you're interested, contact Nancy at Beyond the Bell. Great programs there. Thank you so much for joining us today, Nancy. It's so great to hear what you're doing there, especially for our youth. It's great.
Thank you for having me on the show. And we love Foxborough. They've been very good to Beyond the Bell, and we would love to see more of you here.
Great. Nancy Mager, Beyond the Bell. And that'll do it for Around Foxborough. Have yourself a great day.
Thank you.